Hey, Kelly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Jess. How are you?
Good. Well, March and April are the times where I work hard to not have an eye twitch from stress. I don't know. So I'm really trying to be proactive because the mental load this time of year is difficult. In Las Vegas schools, they are changing a lot of the fields, right? Football, softball, baseball fields to turf.
Mm-hmm.
To be better, for the environment,
Just
to not
easier
use water
maintenance
because,
too.
we are in a desert over here. And so because of that, practices for my freshmen are not at the school because the field will not be done till mid-March. So high school gets done early here. By the way, I think I told you in other Superwoman Diaries, but, they are changing high school start times because how
They
sleep is so
starting a
important for
trend?
teenagers. They're changing high school
Great.
start times, and we did find that Dominic's high school is going to start 30 minutes later. So the rest of the schools are definitely starting an hour later at 8 a.m., but he's going to start at 7:30, which is, a really
Okay.
big deal. He's very excited about that.
That's really great for him.
Yes. But anyway, so because they start early now, they're done at 1:30, and so then you have to, no one has to work, and you have to be available to drive them places. And so high school baseball here and softball and other sports actually have tournaments and travel at the beginning of the season. And so when it is a tournament, that is not a high school, what do they call it?
Sanctioned.
NAIC event. And so
The
they
high
do not
school
bus.
association. Yeah.
They do not bus. And
Okay.
so he has tournaments the next 3 to 4 weeks. And so we don't know the times of the tournaments. And so, for instance, this week, I found out he plays tomorrow. He has school. He gets out at 10 a.m. and has to be at the field at 10:30 for an 11:30 a.m. game in the middle of the day.
So they're
And
not busing them there
no, because it
at
is not
all.
a high school. They can't do CCSD buses because
Are they
it's not. Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
can
then are they
carpool.
expecting everybody to carpool or there's no
Yeah,
like
you have
school
to carpool.
coordination?
Yeah. They said you could let them know. I don't think a coach would give them a ride, but we have a group
Yeah,
chat
I
so you could
agree.
get rides and stuff. But
Okay.
I don't know how flexible your children are, but my middle child, who hopefully got transportation today, is the first time he's asking. But he's about his equipment. Then he has to take all of his equipment. You're getting about 5:30. You have to take your backpack, your equipment, all your clothes, all the stuff. And so anyway, so just even if you do carpool, right, that's something you have to coordinate, right? And that's something you have to figure out. And then how are you going to get him home and all that stuff? And so then he has a game.
Yeah.
It's a doubleheader Friday. And then it's like
That's crazy.
he made varsity, but it says in parentheses, taxi to JV. So JV has separate tournaments. So is he doing all the varsity tournaments and the JV tournaments too? Because they said he would play JV when varsity's not playing. So does that mean I had to be prepared for every single game on the calendar? Because, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that's going to be like. So you just can't plan.
Yeah. And one thing I learned with high school is it's so much that I'm not there. Like I just not going to games
Yeah.
and it sucks if they're not providing transportation because that definitely puts such a burden on parents or
Well, and they're not
families.
allowed to, right? You can't be insured. There's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
legal
yeah. I
thing. It makes
understand. I
sense to me,
understand.
but totally, totally. And I remember my friends years ago talking about how when their kids were freshmen and how crazy it was that they were like traveling and going to tournaments and they had to give all this money. And our older child has just not been part of programs that did that. And so now I'm like, oh my, like
Yeah.
Kelly, literally, he has a San Diego tournament in the middle of March where he will miss 4 days of school. And they will provide, we don't have to go. They will provide transportation for that one and take care of all of it. But that's crazy.
I feel like that sounds like some great opportunities though, and it's going to
Yeah,
be really
absolutely.
fun for him with high
Yes.
school.
Yes.
Were you guys aware that that particular high school involved themselves to that extent with sports? Because I didn't know that school was going to be as heavy of that feels like a heavy sports school, right? Or at least for baseball.
I don't know about the other sports, but baseball is very intense in the Las Vegas Valley, and that's how every single high school is. So it doesn't matter where he'd go,
But
unless
where
he stayed at
Gabby was
Pinecrest.
is not, right? Yeah. I was going to say
When
Pinecrest
she did
isn't.
Coronado her freshman year, she was the only one of her friends that was not participating in preseason tournaments.
Okay. So it's
because it was a brand new coach
the
who didn't
public
know what she
schools.
was doing. All the schools
Yeah.
and the private schools, but we're at like a charter school that's just building a high school, right? We're like 6 or 7 years in a high school. Like they haven't had high school a long time. They're still building programs. And every time you have
Okay.
to get a new coach, then that actually Gabby's
Interesting.
coach her sophomore year did have us do a couple tournaments. But anyway, it's
Wow, that's a lot. And that doesn't even factor in the snacks, Jess. Does anybody talk about that? Because you have to feed these kids.
well, I was talking about, so this is what's funny. We were talking in another episode about your children love meals. And my 15-year-old needs a meal. Okay. He's not a little snacky snacker. We need meals. And so when they're talking about the San Diego tournament, 3 boys to a room, I think he's going to have a blast. Justin and I are going. I'm going to San Diego. We're going to have a couples trip. The other 2 have to stay here and go to school. I want to go to San Diego. But anyway, they're like, oh, there's a fridge in the room. So we take them grocery shopping so they can have food. Breakfast is at the hotel. If they beg us for dinner, we'll take them out for dinner, but that's another expense. And so I'm thinking, what can Dominic eat? I mean, maybe there's a microwave, but like Dominic is not going, if you just have a microwave and a fridge and you're a child who thinks they need steak and rice or chicken and pasta, like they want a meal. I'm like, that boy is going to be like trying to go out to dinner every night because I'm just trying to think what could he be purchasing that would be the calories that he needs to intake every day.
It's like you need to find places that can do family style or large catering of some sort, whether it's like sandwiches one night or pasta, right? Like big
Well,
trays
yeah,
of
it'll be
pasta.
interesting. I mean, because they said
Yeah,
we'll get him
that's a
stuff
lot.
for sandwiches and he can eat a sandwich. I'm just saying like, and I know you're a high schooler. I have fed him. He is the same. Like, it's like they need a feed bag attached to their necks. So I'm just like, what is he going to do? Just interesting. What is he going to grab at the grocery store so he doesn't feel hungry all the time? Right? Like,
Exactly.
it's just
We
interesting.
kind of trained Wes.
So,
He would just
yeah.
put handfuls of protein bars in his bag. He doesn't
Yeah.
like them, but as you know, like when you're
Yeah.
hungry, you'll eat anything kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's like
Yeah.
figuring all that out. But that's all.
Mhm.
It's exciting. I'm excited for him. It's a huge
Yeah.
shift
Yeah.
in terms of, we all spend so much time on sports. And then once they hit high school, it just really changes the game. And it's not neither good nor bad. It's just very different. And so
Yeah.
I'm excited about that even for Wes starting baseball because
Mhm.
it was funny. I just got like a text tonight from a mom that was like, hey, we can, if you drive this week, we'll drive next week. And I was like, this was for club. And I was like, we're done with club this week because we start high school next week. So
Yeah.
I'm happy for this shift because I don't know how it is for you guys, but when they're not in season, the kids are usually doing double time. Like Wes was spending weeks. He spent the last like 3 months practicing with high school and practicing with club. So he had like 6 nights a week
Yeah.
because we don't have, it snows here, so we
Yeah.
don't have seasons outdoor.
Right.
So it was just a lot of training leading
Yeah.
up to it. So it'll be good just
And
to
I
have
think-
a shift.
Yeah, I just think it's important, like, because I know this is a busy season, I'm just trying to communicate, get help where I can, carpool where I can, get help.
Yeah.
But all of this is depleting. And so just making sure
Yeah.
that I'm getting sleep and caring for myself. I don't want to get sick during this season. What do I need to drive so I stay sane? I have to work a little bit less now because I am the parent that has the most flexible schedule. So just how do I care for myself during this season, And one of the things I love to do is you and I are always reading, always having fun. I love taking quizzes about myself. So if you guys love self quizzes, you should check out our quiz on what is your organizational style. It is so fun to kind of figure out what is your style, and it might make sense why you're banging your head against the wall when you see all these organizational setups on Instagram, on TikTok, and you're like, why isn't it working for me? Well, maybe it doesn't fit your style. So if you want to get that quiz, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter. Go to chasingbrighter.com to sign up.
Yeah, definitely check out the survey. We really tailored that so thoughtfully and intentionally about really meeting you where you're at and sort of figuring out who you are. There's nothing right or wrong. It just is. And it's a great way to learn about yourself. And if you want to know more about what Jess and I are up to, what we're loving and what we're learning and how we're spending our days, please hang out with us on our socials, which are at Chasing Brighter. Thanks, everyone, for spending part of your day with us.
Bye.